So, I feel like we talked briefly about this before there was any, actual casting a few months ago, but now there is actual casting, and the internet, of course, has plenty of opinions. So, we've known for a little bit that Warner Brothers seems intent on doing a Willy Wonka origin movie, which I still think is an odd choice.
Yeah.
Well, now we've found our Wonka. If it's not Tom Holland, it's Timothee Chalamet, because Hollywood knows no other young 20-something white guys. Oh boy. This one is going to be tough for me because Willy Wonka, more specifically Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the book, and then Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original movie, which it's still weird that those names are whatever, holds a very special place in my heart for me. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's the most used book I have. It's so beat up because I read it so much. And here's where I'm gonna make some people mad. I don't think this movie's a good idea, but also you should have went with Tom Holland. I know everyone's just like, Tom Holland gets cast in everything. I think Tom Holland is a better option. Given what we've heard about this project, I think Tom Holland would have been a better option than Timothée Chalamet. Both of them are great actors. However, they're saying this is a musical that will require a lot of singing and dancing. I've never seen Chalamet sing or dance. Maybe he can do it. Tom Holland, can he sing and dance? It's almost like that was his entire background before becoming Spider-Man, which is how he's able to do some of the more acrobatic moves. If you have not seen his lip sync battle, what rock have you been living under? I think both of these guys are tremendous actors. I personally would have gone with Tom Holland here, and I know that's the obligatory, well, Tom Holland's got to be cast in everything, says the Uncharted guy. Trust me, I'm well aware. That being said, this is still an incredibly stupid idea.
Yes.
The magic and the wonder of Wonka himself is that we don't know his backstory. Isn't that right, Tim Burton? I don't get this, because when I read this as a kid, I liked the notion and almost like the, not fan theory, because I don't see too many people openly posting this on forums and whatnot, but kind of as a reader, you're left to imagine, is Willy Wonka actually magic? Does he have some magical properties to him? That's at least how I interpreted the character, and giving him this backstory kind of literally takes away the magic. However, the director for this is the director of Paddington 2, which is universally beloved. I have not seen either of the Paddington movies, but I've heard nothing but good things about them. That's the one glimmer of hope I have here.
Yeah.
I'm still very cautious about this movie just because it just seems typical WB. If we've got this property that we've been sitting on, origin story the crap out of that.
Yeah, hey, we haven't touched this in a while, and if we don't use it, we're going to lose the rights to it. So let's make a movie every 8 years or something. You and I have said that this movie is not a good idea. It doesn't make sense. Whatever. We don't throw the money at projects. So
we do for our discussion, no?
Yeah.
If we had money.
However, while I agree that Tom Holland would be better, it might be better for Tom not to be attached to this movie.
So, here's always the dangerous thing when I say this. I have an idea, which is never good.
Uh-oh.
You and I have said, what was it, a very long time ago, that we think the ideal casting choice for a Willy Wonka would have been Taika Waititi, because he's got this, you're kooky, I like you. I don't know if I trust you, but I like you. You seem zany. Don't do Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, because that was a weird story. I don't know what Roald Dahl was thinking with that book. That was so bonkers, even compared to the original book. But I would love a dark comedy about Willy Wonka teaching Charlie the ropes of the factory. What happens after the Great Glass Elevator, of just, here's the day-to-day wackiness, and here are all the people trying to get my recipes, like Slugworth, and, there's 3 main competitors that he had.
Yeah.
I would love a continuation more so than an origin story here. Don't do a remake like you did in 2005. I know it sucks to recast because Gene Wilder was perfect as Wonka, but continue it, or better yet, have a very, very old Wonka who is on his deathbed and Charlie more or less running the show and kind of losing his touch. Like, he's lost the wonder in his eyes that made him want to inherit the factory in the first place because, it's just like growing up. You don't have your imagination anymore. You don't have your song and dance anymore. Mm-hmm. And maybe you need a new child to bring that magic and wonder back to Charlie.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I'm not, yeah.
I did it again, Hollywood. I solved all your problems.
I don't, yeah, sure, whatever. It's one of those, like, any idea is better than the one they're giving us. Speaking of interesting things.